It makes me feel better though.
It does. When I went to Nicole and Tim's house to take Polaroids for them for their giveaway that they did, um, it was like the newer Polaroid thing, and you still want to shake it. Like it's still that
Yeah.
like you still want to shake it. Doesn't help anything, but you still want to shake it.
Yeah, I mean, you still feel compelled, you know.
We're talking about Polaroids. If you guys are just if you're kind of caught us as we were in the middle of the discussion, it's always fun.
I think I still have Polaroids in my like developed ones. I still have them somewhere in like a photo. I think I've got like tubs of old photos.
Yeah, yeah. They were fun. I mean, it was like, and then it was the like the instant camera, right? It was the,
Hmm.
the disposable camera that you would take to an event and just get that developed and stuff. But whoever thought when we were kids that we would be carrying our cameras in our pockets?
I didn't.
No.
I always thought it. I had no idea, or didn't even think about the way that technology would change. I saw Back to the Future too, and I was like, "Yay, floating cars!" But even then, I didn't think about the way that we would have a tiny computer in our pockets
Yep.
that we could do tons of stuff with.
Which is insane. It like that to me now thinking about it and seeing like I can, I was so excited when I got my first digital camera that I could take like, pictures, and if I didn't like the picture, I could just take it again. Um,
Yeah.
and then it was like, oh, I've got to go get that printed now, and I don't really want to go do that. And now it's like, I think the last photo that I printed was the photo of Spike that I put in his memorial frame. And that's
Hmm.
like that's been the longest time that I've gone about like actually printing a photo. It's
Yeah.
just because you don't have to do that anymore.
No.
But then I remember as a kid, I loved looking through family photo albums so much.
Oh
That was
yeah.
like right, like like that would be the thing I would do was at grandma's house. I'd go and I'd look at all the photos in the album, and my mom made a bunch of photo albums of us growing up, and I would look at those, and it was like I looked at those photo albums so many times. I think my mom actually gave me one of the ones that was my favorite because I have
Aw.
it like in my storage. Um,
Yeah.
so like no, now like kids won't have that same experience like that and going through the Sears catalog to pick out which toys you wanted for
Oh
Christmas.
goodness. Yeah. Oh yeah. Same thing here. I love the wish list or the wish book or something like
Yes.
that. Yeah, every year I'd comb through that thing and just
Yep.
backwards and forwards would just read through it and like I would check it or circle what I wanted. And,
It was
oh
the
man.
J.C. Penney catalog, which was like a
Yep.
phone book this big, and I think the Sears catalog too, where you go through and just
Hmm.
that was insane. And when they came, boy, I had my special spot in the house where I would go and like sit behind my dad's recliner chair in the living room, and I would just be
Oh,
like,
oh, oh.
I mean, it's like that is like carved into my memories.
Oh yeah, man. That and that kids these days don't know the joys of it.
I know, right? They don't understand. They don't
Kids
get
don't
it,
understand the mystery of a phone ringing and not knowing who it is,
right?
having no idea, and then just answering the phone to see who it was. And then the
Oh my
magical
gosh,
day when caller ID came out and you could see the number that's calling you.
I
That was
know.
just it was magic.
That was insane. That was like yeah, like you didn't know who was calling you, so you had to answer the phone. And now
Yeah.
you can decide if you want to or not.
Oh yeah. You can shady button anybody.
Star 69 to call someone back that didn't like
Oh
yes,
yeah.
did that. Yep. They charged you for that. Gosh, if it was a catalog that
Collect
Amazon had.
calls.
Oh gosh, collect calls.
That would be, oh man,
Mhm.
that would be a big catalog.
I know. You couldn't screen your phone calls when you were younger.
Mm-mm.
My parents when my parents got call waiting, that was like the most amazing thing in the world because it was
Oh
like
yeah.
having call waiting because someone could try to call you and they could actually like buzz in.
Oh yeah, like three-way calls.
Three-way calls
Oh
and
man.
yep. Oh, jeez. It's so crazy to think about all those things.
Oh, how far we've come.
I know. I don't even know where we start. Like I think it was talking about photos and Polaroid pictures. That's how we got here. That's how this works, guys. It's just like, hello, welcome to our rabbit hole of discussion and stuff.
Follow the crazy train of thought.
I know. All right, let me pull up the soundboard.
And the yawn.
And the yawn. Let's see.
Our warlocks get hungry too. It's cool down at the drive-thru.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh jeez.
That's pretty funny, actually. It's cool down at the drive-thru.
Oh boy, I remember those. That was so funny.
Someone call for the doctor.
Someone call for the doctor. Hello, Dad. Hi, DK Rise. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. It's time. It's time for the show. We're trying to wake Marconi up.
Yeah. Just kind of like, I mean, I didn't do a whole lot of physical exertion at work today, so I've just been kind of sitting around. I mean, I've worked, but it's not, most of it was sitting down work. I didn't really. It was a lot less eventful than Tuesday.
Yeah, you're gonna tell your story about Tuesday?
Yeah, that was Tuesday. Yeah, I'll touch on it because then one of the questions relates to it.
Gotcha. You are. Yes. We haven't started yet. We're doing our pre-show.
Actually, this is the end. This is the end. Okay, guys, /moo.
Okay, /bye-bye. And fade. You're silly. That is so stretchy. Oh, so stretchy. Yeah, I've been tired too. I had a headache earlier, so I laid down for a bit, and I was just like zoning out. Like, oh, I'm tired. Usually catch only the last 10 minutes. I know the feeling. Like, it's just that time where you're just like, I'm busy, I'm doing stuff, and then, shoot! That show that I like is on. Hey, Solomia, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
It's a good thing.
For me, it's like, I've got to hurry up and get home from work because I have to be on the show.
Yeah, I know.
And I like, it's like I've been home for about 30 minutes, and just a long day, easy-ish day, but just long. Mm-hmm. And then there were multiple wrecks downtown in all directions, and I had to go around some of that stuff, and it was just stacked up. Hey, Tiber, welcome.
Hi, Tiber. Welcome. Welcome. Tiber, how much snow does Madison have at this point? Didn't know.
Too much.
Too much. Probably similar to what we've got. I cleaned my desk earlier because it was a disaster area, and also because I had this cat litter bag of this cat litter that I've used for years that suddenly has gotten from 99.9% dust free to like clouds of dust coming out every time I pour more litter in there, and it just coated everything in the house. So I've been working through cleaning everything so that the layer of dust is gone. And I changed out the litter, cleaned the pans, that kind of stuff. And my desk is like, I'm at my desk probably a good, 85% of my day. So there's just like stuff that just piles up. So it's like, I'm cleaning my desk. I'm doing it. It's just awful. 3 inches or so. Okay. Yeah. About the same that what we've gotten. Let's see here. Give me 1 second.
I think we had 2 inches maybe.
Yeah.
On Monday night.
That's a lot for you guys.
Yeah. An inch and a half to 2 inches, something like that.
Yeah, you don't.
And it was snow. No, it was enough. But snow in Arkansas is like this. Day one, oh, it's snow. It's so pretty. Schools cancel. Can't make it into work. Let's enjoy the snow. Day 2 through 6. Why is everything dirty and salty? Like that, the whole thing. My car is supposed to be gray. It's pretty much white on top and then black on bottom because it's covered in salt.
Yep.
Salt, sand, and dirt.
Yep.
And my wiper fluid froze, so I had to keep going to the gas stations to wipe off all the dirt. But then all of the little bucket thingies are frozen solid.
Oh,
So I had to find one. That was not frozen solid and just kind of like rattle it around in there till it like got a little loose, and then like squeegee the windshield dry or clean, and then get behind some dude that's like kicking up a bunch of stuff. And
yeah, and then your car's completely covered again. It doesn't matter. It's
it's just coated again.
You cleaned it off, but
yeah, well, and all our work vehicles are the same way.
Yep.
And all the car washes are closed that I could see. They all got the gates down. You can't get your car washed.
Yep.
Which seems weird to me because it would seem at this part of the year, if you could just make sure the pipes aren't frozen, you would make a buttload of money from a car wash because everybody's car's dirty. So
yes,
we'll see.
As soon as it gets above 30 degrees in Minnesota or Wisconsin or whatever, the lines for the car wash are like down the street because that's what you got to get the junk off your car. It warmed up to almost 40 today, which was insanely awesome. And so I pulled my car out of the garage and I had to put some air in some of my tires because of the cold snap. It decreased the pressure in some of my tires. So I was doing that, and I was sweeping out my my garage too, like just getting rid of the slush and the dirt and the stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just a mucky, gross mess. And I'm just like, Winter, you suck. I hate you. But now my tires are nice and filled up, and my garage is cleaner. So yay!
Oh, good. I need to start taking the work vehicles to get them washed Friday or like tomorrow or Saturday, just depending.
Yeah.
Because I mean, my vehicle is small enough; it'll fit in conventional like auto car washes. But our other big vehicles, like some dude has to get a big broom and like a squeegee and do it himself. Because it's like we have to go to like those semi-truck car washes.
The truck stops, yeah.
Yeah, we have to go to those places for the rest of the fleet. But my vehicle's a little older and a little smaller, so I'm able to navigate into the consumer-sized or commercial, the small-sized ones.
Nice.
And just do that. So
nice.
Once they open their gate, I can do that.
I know. It'll warm up, and then everybody will be open for you. Be awesome.
Yeah, well, I think it's supposed to get warmer and warmer, I think.
Let's hope, because this is just like, it's killing me. I want warm so bad. I went outside today, and I actually took a deep breath, and my lungs didn't hurt, and it was so nice, because it's so nice. It was so warm. Comparatively, it's 31 right now. It's like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's 29 here, but on Sunday, it's supposed to be 60.
Wow.
Supposed to be 50 tomorrow, 55 Saturday, 60 Sunday, and then mid-50s for the rest of the week.
Wow. Perfect. There goes all your snow.
Yay.
All right.
Wash my car.
Yay. Now that we've talked the weather to death, let's get a show going, shall we?
Let's do it.
Are you ready, Markonen?
I'm ready.
And audience, are you guys ready? Let's do a ready check on you. Are you guys ready? Let us know. I think they're ready.
I think so. We got a couple that are.
I think they're ready. They're good to go. GTG. Okie dokie. You ready to rumble?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Tauren Think Tank episode 257 records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 257 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, January 18th of 2018. 8:11 p.m. Central Time is the current time stamp on my clock. My name is Jules, and with me, as always, is the working to keep his eyelids open with toothpicks man of the South. It's Mark Conan.
Toothpicks on my lids and a giant can of Red Bull, Jules. That's how we do it.
In the South. No, it's in Sleepy Town is basically what it is. This is how we do it.
Welcome to Sleepy Town.
Welcome to Sleepy Town.
Right. Well, what was that ad? It was like, was it for chewing tobacco or something? Welcome to Flavor Country. What was that product? It was something that's like, welcome to Flavor Country.
I think if you're chewing tobacco, then that's very Southern too.
I think so. I think that's what it was. I can't remember what it was, but the Welcome to Sleepy Town reminded me of that. So that was your product placement for this evening, other than the Red Bull right here that you can't see if you're not watching the video.
Right.
But hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome.
It's been a long week, and we're a little tired, a little punchy, but we're here, and we're gonna kick it up a notch and bring it in for a show like we always do. And we're happy that you're here with us. So, Mark Conan, you had a very busy last 7 days and a lot of driving and a lot of travel. Tell us about PAX South.
I did. I'm wearing the shirt that I got. Yay. Yeah, PAX South was this weekend, as it usually is in San Antonio. And I went and I spoke, and it was awesome. It was a great weekend. I went down I stayed the night in Dallas Thursday night, do my little halfway thing.
Yep.
And then I got down to PAX South about 3:00 in the afternoon, which it was a little, I can't remember if the schedule was different, but they were only open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day.
Uh-huh.
So they weren't open for very long, but I went in there and I got a chance to kind of walk the floor, and I met up with our good buddy Cuddles and his wife. Both of them were there at their Stack Up booth, and so I got to catch up with them and kind of walk the floor and see what was going on. It was really good. It was really cool to be there and to kind of see all the games they had a huge display for like Monster Hunter World, which looks really, really cool. And, lots of gaming booths, really a lot of cool stuff. So, Jules knows its old hat by now. It's kind of the same thing that it has been the last 2 years that we both went. But it was really cool. I got to spend a lot of time with Mr. and Mrs. Cuddles. Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday, I got to have a very nice panel with both Dr. Anthony Bean and Dr. Holiday Bean, as well as Joel Christensen.
Nice.
And it was really cool. We got a chance to talk about anxiety and depression that you can harness to your advantage. And I've got the panel that I recorded. We had some audio issues with the tech guys. They couldn't quite get the audio to work. So I do have the audio from my camera, but it's not quite as ideal. It's kind of the same audio from last year, but I'll clean it up as best I can, and we'll get it produced and put out for you guys. But it was really cool. It's a different way to think about depression and anxiety, and how you can turn it around to your advantage and use it as a weapon for good, and a way to kind of combat it and come back for, kind of reestablish yourself. If it gets really bad, definitely seek counseling. But this is kind of the tools you can use to kind of help yourself through it. And it actually I learned a couple of things on the panel too. So it should be really cool. If you guys want to check that out, we'll put that on the feed.
Yes.
A little bit later on, once I can get it all rustled together.
That's awesome. I want to hear it. I
great
haven't heard anything yet on it, so it'd be very cool to hear it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get it out for you guys and for you too. Played a lot of Pokemon Go this weekend too.
Oh, for sure.
I did.
You were like, so I got to ask you too. So your panel was on Sunday afternoon. What was the crowd like for you? It
was fairly full.
Okay.
I took a picture of the room, but I forgot to tweet it out. But it wasn't full, but it was almost full.
Yeah.
We had a really good number of people.
Good.
We had a lot of people ask questions at the end. We had quite a few people afterwards. I stayed inside because I was recording the next panel because our friend Joel Christensen was in our panel, but then was in the panel immediately preceding it in the same room. So
Got
I
you.
recorded the panel for him too. But yeah, it was a pretty good turnout. We had a lot of good questions, and I think it was really productive. It was a really productive panel, and I'm really happy that it went on.
Good. I'm so bummed that I missed it, but I'm glad that it went well, because I was thinking about you guys all weekend, just hoping that it was just, because as I sat here in Minnesota, it was snowing like crazy on Sunday. But that's awesome. So yeah, so you got some more Pokemon Go in when you were there.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. There's a couple of Pokemon that only spawn in the equatorial regions between the two tropics. And luckily, San Antonio is far enough south for one of them. So I was able to find that one fairly easily. But then there was another one that I had to drive 2 hours south to Corpus Christi, Texas. Not because I had to, but because that's the general area and there's a lot of places I can get it. Mm-hmm. So I went and saw the Gulf of Mexico on Saturday.
Nice.
And I found one and I caught it. So it's one of those things, like, it was close enough, so I had to, the collector in me, I had to do it. But it was also cool because I got to go to the Gulf, and I walked around a park for about a half hour. There was a lot of people, even though it was 50, 55 degrees, so it was cool enough for a jacket. But there were a lot of people picnicking, and a lot of people just playing, throwing around a baseball, and walking their kids and their dogs around the little trail, and it was really neat, and it gave me a good chance to kind of it was just me and my phone. I mean, Just me and my Pokemon game, just walking around. But it was really nice to kind of take that time and see it, and then turn around and drive back to go back to San Antonio. But yeah, it was really good. I tried some Korean food with Mr. and Mrs. Cuddles that night, and first time I'd eaten at a legit Korean restaurant. They had the Korean barbecue thing, but it was one of those things where it's better if you have a group of people.
Yeah.
It's more affordable that way.
Yeah.
So we just ordered off the menu, but it was really, really good. And they were open till midnight. So yeah. It's authentic when you come in late at night and it's just the three of us, and then there's another family there, but I think they were like the kids and grandkids of the owners, because they're just sitting there watching watching a Korean movie on TV with subtitles. And it was just dead quiet in there. Other than that, it was just us.
That's awesome.
But it was really good food, so I'm definitely happy about that.
Did you get your Scotch eggs though?
No, I did not.
You didn't? Oh,
No.
You broke your streak.
I know. Well, the Beans and I were going to have that for lunch when we met before the panel on Sunday, so we're going to meet there at noon and do that. But they got there a few minutes before I did, and they were having an all-store meeting or an all kitchen meeting or something, and they were going to open at 12:30. Well, the Beans didn't have breakfast, so they were starving, so they're like, we just want to find some place to eat. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So we actually ate at the County Line, which is that barbecue place we tried the first year. So we had that instead. And by the time I got done with the panel and everything, I really needed to go ahead and start driving up to Dallas because I was tired. I ended up not getting back to the hotel in Dallas till almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Because I stayed till the end of the panel or to the end of the con, and then a ways after that. So I didn't want to sit and wait for another hour or half hour, however long it would take to get my Scotch eggs. So I'm just going to find a really good recipe online and just make my own.
Make your own.
So just make my own, take pictures of it, and be like, yep, here's the Scotch eggs I didn't get. There you go. I know, well. And I wanted them so bad. Like I thought about them every single day, and I was like, "Is this the meal that I'm gonna go? No, I'll wait. No, I will just go tomorrow. I'll just do it this time or that time." But yeah, the Korean food was a good substitute, though. I think we're gonna start making that a thing to go do.
Cool.
It was tasty.
Good.
But yeah,
I'm glad you had a good trip.
Oh, me too. It was really nice. It was low. That's the thing about PAX South. It's very low key. Kind of casual, just kind of walk around, enjoy the booths with all the cool VR games and tabletop games and board games and all that stuff, and just a lot of cool cosplay walking around. Saw Mystery Science Theater 3000 cosplay when I was sitting down. I was like, hey, I don't see that every day.
Yeah.
So I saw quite a few casual Hanzos though. That was cool.
That's very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good time. that you made it safely because we did the show a day early because of impending bad weather.
Yeah, and I drove through it going down to Dallas, and it was intense. I'm glad that I left when I did.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you've also dealt with the bad weather coming back to Little Rock as well.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Tell us about what happened in the world of Marconin.
Well, and this plays into one of the tell us one thing questions. So it snowed a couple inches, like I said, on Monday night into Tuesday. Well, I was helping out a comrade in arms at work, running a few deliveries, and we got out to this place in the middle of nowhere, and the work truck got stuck. It got stuck on an icy hill, on an icy road. We're blocking the entire road. Granted, it's only one lane because it's way out in the hills.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got stuck, and this is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon because we'd already finished our day and we're just helping catch up because they were running behind. And so the whole big truck gets stuck at a 45-degree angle, covering the entire road up on like a really decent incline, solid ice. In fact, my coworker, when he got out of the work truck to examine it, he slipped and fell and like slid down about 50 feet of the road.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. And it was crazy. So, and we're stuck. I mean, the sun's going down. Everything that might be liquid is turning back into ice. Mm-hmm. So it's only getting worse. And after a couple of hours of waiting, our boss shows up, and he almost got stuck because he was bringing food out to us because, of course, we have to stay with the vehicle. We've got stuff in the back. And he brought us food, and he almost got stuck. Well, he was kind of navigating around, and he found the wrecker that we're supposed to come help us. So the wrecker kind of goes down, and we warned him. We warned him that the roads were really bad, so that he may want to go walk down first. He didn't, and the wrecker fell off the road into a ditch. The entire wrecker did.
Oh, no! Oh my gosh.
Yep. It was at that point about 9:30 at night that we decided we would just leave the truck keys with the wrecking company because they had another wrecker coming to get him out, and then we just handed the keys over, and my boss drove us to get our vehicles and go home. So I got home at like 10:30 at night.
Wow.
Then yesterday I got a text message midday that the wrecker came to go get the wrecker out that came to get us. Well, the wrecker that came to get the wrecker also got stuck. So we're at like 3 levels. We're like 3 levels of stuck vehicles. I feel bad for the people on this road because it is in the middle of nowhere in the hills, and they're stuck. Like you can't, unless you have an ATV, you can't get around because it's all trees and ditches and all this other stuff. So you can't get through. So luckily today I saw our vehicle was at work. So they did get it out finally, and they towed it there. And so we finally got it done, but wow. I was prepared to sleep in the cab of that truck because we had to stay there until my boss said it was okay. So it's one of those things. Like I was prepared. I had my phone. We had heat in the cab. It was one of those like, oh, I'll just stretch out and do what we have to do. But thankfully it worked out, and I didn't have to sleep outside or sleep, in the cab of a work truck that night. So.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be insured for that. Like, to have you stay with it all night, like, that's kind of crazy.
Well, my line of thinking was at least I was still on the clock. So
yes, exactly.
I get paid by the hour. So being stuck on the side of the road, I'm like, I'm still making money. I get paid the same sit down as I do standing up. So, it was an adventure. So I was okay with it. And luckily no one got hurt. The vehicle didn't get hurt. It just slid, like one of the tires went off the road onto like just a little depression. So I'm fine. The truck's fine. The wrecker that fell in the ditch was fine. But that's, that'll all get sorted out. But it was quite an adventure.
Wow. So your experience actually inspired one of our Tell Us One Thing questions for the week, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I would say that you've had a much more adventurous week than I, which is good.
You've got podcasting things in Florida coming up, so that'll be a weekend where you've got a lot more interesting stuff than me. So it's a give and take.
It's a give and take. Yeah. So I will be heading to Orlando, Florida for a pretty quick little trip on February, I think it's the 8th through the 10th. We are speaking at Podfest there. We have been invited to speak there about building online communities through gaming. So we're going to be talking about that, heading to Orlando. I don't know at this point if we will be able to coordinate a meetup. We're certainly going to try, but I think we're coming in on Thursday and leaving Saturday. So it's pretty quick. So we'll see if we can do something. If not, we'll let you guys know. If you happen to be in the Orlando area and happen to want to go to Podfest, Pat Crane and I were given an affiliate link for tickets that we can give to you, and it helps us out too. So send me a message, send us an email, and let us know. We can get you help. You can help us out by buying tickets through us. So that would be awesome. Yeah, so my week has been a lot less eventful, but good. I've been recording quite a bit of coverage for HGC, the Heroes of the Storm Global Championship League, for 2 different shows. So that's been really cool.
Oh yeah,
been kicking butt in making a bunch of stuff for chainmail. Lots of commissions lately, which has been incredible. And lots of rings coming into my house lately, big orders of rings. So that's been super cool. I haven't been able to stream a whole lot because I've had work related things. It's been the guild anniversary this week for the CTR Guild. So 5 years of CTR Guild officially this week. So Pat and I celebrated yesterday by playing Overwatch with some of the community members, and yeah, it's just been I feel like it's all been work. So work. But that's good. That's good. But we'll get into more stuff as we get into the question. I don't think I have anything else to update us on for the show, unless you have anything that's going on for yourself.
Not PAX has been the big thing. So yeah, not much more from me right now anyway.
Okay. Well, let's jump right in. We're going to do a think tank question from a listener, so let's do it.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's Think Tank time. We have a question from one of you. And again, if you would like to send us a question for the show, you can do so at questions@torrenthinktank.com. That's how we get our letters. Or you can do it on Facebook, on Twitter, all the great stuff. So let's read this letter and get into the discussion of the question itself. Hi, Jules and Mark Honan. I was getting caught up on my podcast listening from the middle of the year to now and prompted meaning to write to you. A little backstory. In 2013, I had to have major surgery where they removed 15 inches of my intestines due to a severe case of diverticulitis. I can never say that word right. I changed almost every part of my life and was healing. Now fast forward to 2017. Early in the year, I was diagnosed with severe IBS, which made it hard to eat in general. Then at the end of July, early August, I went into the hospital due to just not feeling good. That's when I found out I had a heart attack at 29 that my doctors think was caused by stress and that damaged my liver, kidneys, and pancreas, which now caused me to have diabetes. I was out of work for 2.5 months to heal. In that time, my family had to move due to circumstances my older brother caused, so I helped them find and move to a new place. I have pulled away from most of the people that care about me. I've ended relationships. I don't talk in groups that I used to. My mind is the enemy. I don't feel comfortable in this broken shell of a body, and I feel broken. I know it's a new year, and I want to change. I've set some goals this year, but I see the road is beyond long. Sorry this is so long. Thanks for the help. This show helps me to know I'm not alone. Longtime listener, Tanker1.
Thanks for writing in, Tanker1, and you are right. You are not alone.
You are not alone.
You're definitely here.
That's the whole premise of this show, and something that we hear so many times over the years is that the letters that you guys write makes other people feel like they're not alone. And I can guarantee that this letter hits home to somebody else out there that's listening. and probably several somebody else's. So first of all, I want to say, just reading your letter, I mean, it's just like there's a whole lot of crap that's happened to you. And I made the title of the Twitch stream tonight as we do this live. I said, when your body is your enemy, because it really kind of feels like the deck gets stacked against you when it comes to health problems. Nobody really in the level of these kinds of things, it's like these things are happening and that's not your fault. And sometimes it is, physical issues can be caused by us, and sometimes they just happen. And that sucks. It really, really sucks. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Like, it's awful to see and know that it continues to happen, and then it's like like he said, my mind is the enemy. It's just like everything feels like it's insurmountable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my intro to this. I have a lot of thoughts, and I have some things that hopefully will help. But what are your thinking? What is your thinking?
Well, for me it goes onto things that you can change and things that you can't change. You can't change the fact that you've had these health problems. These are very, very big changes in your life, and the situations that are out of your control. You can't help a lot of these things, but there are some things that you can control, and that's when you're starting to come around to realize that you have pulled away. You've let the things that you can't change affect the things that you can change. Yeah. It's that's kind of where I'm coming from on it, is that now you've realized that things have changed in your life that you don't like, that you do have power over, and you're kind of realizing that, and you've set some goals and you're trying to, make it, but making these changes in your life, trying to fix things and trying to repair relationships, come back to your groups of friends, it can be tough, especially having yourself be an enemy in it. Like you said, your own mind is the enemy. That's what happens to me sometimes when I want to reach out to people. Sometimes my mind is the enemy. It makes me think like, oh, why should I? Don't think that they even want to talk to me. Why should I even bother? It's it's already been like this. I mean, why even change it? It's already the way it is. And it can be very defeating. You can be very self-defeating with it. But you've recognized it, and now you're wanting to make that change, and it does feel insurmountable, but it's all about making that good first effort to start the change and to be aware of it, and to also keep with it. Not to give up at the first sign of difficulty with it, to just push through it and to keep the goal in mind. That's the thing, is a lot of people get so wrapped up in how hard it is to reach the goal that we lose sight of the goal and how badly we want it.
Right.
The hardships in the journey to the goal are what you focus on, when really it should be the goal itself and the benefits of reaching that goal.
Yeah. There's been a lot of lessons that I've learned especially in the last year or so, when it's come to achieving goals and focusing on goals and the journey that it takes to get to those goals. Especially when it comes to things that you're like, we talked a little bit about this when we were hitting on the New Year resolution goal discussion that we had a couple weeks ago, where, we've spent X amount of time not doing the thing, and now we've set the goal to say we're going to go do the thing. And, what do we do when we set a goal for something that we decide that we're going to do? We expect that we're just going to be able to bang it out and just yeah, we got this. And it's going to be you want it to happen now, right? So let's use weight loss as a good indicator. And this is what people will say to you all the time. If you've gained weight over a bunch of time, and then you set the goal and you're going to say, I'm going to lose X number of pounds. I'm going to lose 80 pounds this year. And you expect that to happen overnight, but you didn't gain that weight overnight. But you expect that the resolution is going to change everything overnight, which is such an American mindset. Of course, we know this. We're an immediate, the instant gratification, immediacy kind of reactionary people. But at the same time, when we don't achieve those goals, we perceive them as complete failure if you don't do it all at once. So this is a mindset change for you, Tanker One, that's going to take some time and effort and frustration, but it's something that I have firsthand experience with right now, is that starting slow and starting with things that you can change, even if they feel insignificant, they add up to something so much more over time. They, and when you think about it from a perspective of like, my body is limiting me in certain ways for him, I don't know what your physical limitations are or what your goals are that you hadn't mentioned those. But if your goals are like, I want to increase I'm just going to make something up. I want to increase my mobility. I want to be more, I want to be a little bit more active because it hurts when I walk. So I want to make sure that I'm getting out there and doing something every day. And, sometimes your body just hurts or you don't feel like it. It's not going to work out okay for you if you do the thing. So you start slower. You start slower with things that you can that you can do, and then you give yourself credit for the fact that you did them. And so, So I wanted to share something for myself that, in comparison to what you've been through, Tanker One, it has so much smaller significance, but I hope that it will help you. And that is, like, my body feels like my enemy right now. You all know from listening to the show for over time is that I have been working on weight loss with trainers, with Nicole and Tim from Heroes of Fitness. And I have been doing that for 6 months. It actually marked 6 months on my training. Get popped up and said, you've been doing this for 6 months, like this week. And I have, my goals have been to lose weight, to gain strength and fitness and all of those kinds of things. I'm gaining the strength, I'm gaining the endurance, but I'm not losing any weight. And it has been one of the hardest things because I am doing all the things that you should be doing to lose weight. I've changed my diet completely. I work out 6 days a week. Like, they say it should be this like easy little formula of eat less and move more, and it ain't working. And so I have been going to see specialists to try to help figure out what's going on. And as I've dug in more and gone through more and more painful frustration in this, I'm realizing that I likely have a metabolic condition. It's called polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it's basically meant to, like, the thing that happens is, like, I can't lose weight very easily without certain things, but those certain things doctors don't know. And so my body has been my enemy and like, let me tell you how frustrating this is. Like, in the past, like, I was on a 1,200 calorie diet. I didn't lose any weight at all. 1,200 calories a day and not losing weight. That's insane. Being hungry all the time trying to eat. So I sat down this week. I went to a horrible appointment with an endocrinologist that was just like, all he did was tell me I needed to eat fewer calories and raise my heart rate more. And it's like, you don't understand what I have been doing. You don't understand what is going on with this. So I went and I dug for information. And I found some amazing information this week, and it was like, oh my gosh, maybe this is the answer. Maybe this is the thing that will help me to finally change this. Because I feel like my body is the enemy. And so, so think about from that perspective. Like, I have been fighting now solidly for 6 months, like not giving up for 6 months. But prior to that, I tried so many times and gave up so many times because it was like so frustrating. It was incredibly frustrating because I couldn't do the thing. And it was like, well, then I can't do the thing and I'm just going to give up. And then I go and do the thing and I still don't give up and it still doesn't do the thing. So yeah, that's where I will say to you, Tanker One, is that sometimes you just have to look for other ways to come at what you are going after, but you can't give up.
Yep.
You have to keep fighting.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go.
Well, just giving up is the one thing that you don't, that like giving up is, that if you put yourself in the mindset of giving up is not an option, that's the way it, that's the way it ideally should go, because I, like you said, your body is the enemy, and goodness knows, as far as the weight loss thing, I've been falling off the train a whole lot. Still am, but I still keep trying. And excuse me. And I know that this, and for me in the letter, it seems like just his body being the enemy keeping him from his friends and loved ones and the people that want to be around him, and giving up on that. I know I know you've let people go already. You've ended those relationships, but I can tell you you've got some goals. I don't know if those are goals or, reestablishing connection with your friends, but friends understand. Friends understand that you may have limitations that, with like with IBS, there's restaurants and foods you just can't have. You have limits, and friends understand that. And friends are still okay. True friends are still okay with those limitations, because you're the person they want to hang out with, not, someone that can just go, eat dinner wherever, or
but
all this kind of stuff.
The thing that I think is important for him to understand and to look at for himself is you've pulled back for reasons of your own. Like, you stepped away from these situations, from people. And you need to look at why that is. Like, do you feel like, as Marconin said earlier, like they don't really care about hearing about all my problems, or it's too much effort for me to reach out to them all the time because they never reach out to me, or I feel like I'm a burden to them and they don't really want to hear what I have to say. These are the things that you have to look at, because when your brain is saying to you, you're not worth it, or you're a waste of space, or, that's what your brain tells you when you feel like you're a broken shell of a person. But before that happened, before these things happened, you weren't. And so it's different now. What is it that makes you think that your physical limitations change who you are as a personality? As a person, and that's the thing that I think we have to understand from him is like, when you feel like you're physically broken, do you feel like everybody just looks at you and thinks that you are completely, absolutely worthless as an entity? Because that shouldn't be the case, Now, injury and pain does change a person's personality and how you react to other people, but that's where I'm like, I'm not trying to say it's all in your head, but it feels like there could be a lot of that's all in your head when it comes to people's perception of you, unless it's like, they're looking at you in pity and like not knowing how to react to you because you've had all of this horrible stuff happen to you. It's like, you're still the same guy,
Yeah.
You're still the same person. And that is that's where I'm having problems resolving it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I know that's going to be that's a battle in with himself. It's an internal battle, fighting through, what his mind is telling him that he can or can't do, or that, he's not worthy of this, or he feels like he can't do things anymore, and that he doesn't deserve, all these self-defeating lines of thinking that can come with this, and it's a hard battle to fight.
Yeah.
You are your own worst enemy.
You are.
Because, I mean, nobody knows you as well as you. So they know how to get to yourself.
So
really
true.
bad.
But at the same time, I do think a lot of it is incredibly powerful on the mindset front. I heard this interview a couple months ago it was a guy who is blind, and he figured out how to use echolocation to be aware of his surroundings, literally like making clicking noises.
I've heard of him.
Heard of him. This man rides a bike. He goes hiking in the woods in cliffed areas. He's blind. He cannot see. He's never been able to see. He was born blind. And so, but he uses echolocation to find his way through the world. And it's made him able to live a life that he wants to live. And so I kind of refer back to that when I think about the things that we look at as obstacles for our lives, for physical limitations, for things that you feel like you can't do anymore. The mind is such a powerful tool for and against you. So as much as your brain can tell you that you are incapable, cannot do, will never do, cannot ever do again, is the same power to turn it around and say, I can, I will, I should, and I did. Yeah. That's how that same power exists. It exists in your brain. And so when I know that I am losing my strength for fighting against something difficult, that is where I find it. It's what's the option here? What's the choice that I have? If it were for Tanker 1 to say, I am going to be lonely and without connection with anyone and without joy and without happiness, or I can have connection, friends, joy, happiness if I seek them out and I work again for them. That is the choice. Those are the options. They may not be the easiest options to achieve, but they're there. And so if you say to yourself today, I feel that I want these things, but I feel like I could never in a million years get there right now. What is one thing today that you could do that moves you towards one of those goals? One little thing. And it could be anything. It could be writing a letter to yourself and declaring your intent. I would say this is what I would do. This is like, if you really feel like you don't see the end of the road, what is the name of that website? I got to go look it up. I think it's called Future Me. Future Me? Yes. futureme.org. You write a letter to yourself. And you set it for whenever you want it to send to you. Could be 6 months, it could be 3 months, it could be a year, it could be 5 years, whatever you want it to do. But you write a letter to yourself and you say, this is where I am right now, and this is where I hope to be in this amount of time. And you tell it to send it to you. I did this while I was going through my crazy transition of divorce, and like my life was upside down, and I'm moving to Minnesota, and my job is changing, and nothing is the same anymore. I wrote myself a Future Me letter. And when it came on January 1st, 2017, I cried when I saw exactly how far I had come in that 6 months time because it was incredible. And I didn't think it would ever get there. And so that's one thing I would tell you guys right now. Like, if you are in the moment where you feel like you need to declare that you need to accomplish something, that's a pretty powerful way to do it. But there's one thing.
Yeah.
There's one thing you could do today, and there's one thing you could do tomorrow, and it doesn't have to be huge. But what could you do to be a little better than yesterday?
Yeah. It's just like saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. You've got to make those tiny little steps that they do add up exponentially as you keep going. Every victory, no matter how small, is still a victory. Whether you win by 1 point or 1,000 points, you still win the game.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's all these incremental leaps, incremental victories that all add up.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, it doesn't have, you don't have to achieve your goal today or tomorrow or next week, but every little bit of progress should help be a positive reinforcement that you are going in the right direction, that you are making this change for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very difficult when you sit in your own headspace to notice and understand and mark progress over time. It's why I try to make a habit of, whenever there is a milestone that's been achieved, you take a moment and stand at the trailhead and you look back at where you came. And you know, just for a moment, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, and just say, you did good, kid. And then you keep going down the road. Because if you don't take that time to mark where you've been, where you've come from, you could just let it go by and it would never be there anymore. And it would just be like this, distant memory where, someday you turn around and you're like, oh yeah, maybe I did all that. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, so like thinking about like if Mark Conan had never created some audio bumpers for podcasts, he probably would never have taken himself down to the road where he sits on a podcast, a weekly podcast now. I mean, possibly, but it may not have led him to this path. And yeah. So if you can stand at the apex of that point and look back and say, wow, I did a lot to actually bring me to this point. That was pretty cool. It's like if you can do that and just say, yes, I've been through a lot, but yes, I did a lot.
Yeah.
And so, Taker 1, you've been through a lot. A lot of stuff has happened to you that is not good. But you have learned things from this. I guarantee you there have been lessons learned. And there have been moments where you have said to yourself, I'm not the same as I was before. And so you need to mark that. You need to look back at it. You need to analyze it too, just briefly. And just say, this is what I was. This is what I am. This is what I learned. Now, where do we go from here?
Yeah. I think you sum it up pretty well.
Yeah.
You gotta, it's the past can only shape who you are today. You've got control, even though you've got limitations, you've got almost complete control on what you do from here on out.
Yeah. Yeah. And the worst thing you can do for yourself, I think, is to sit back and think about who you were and kind of not let that go, because
I'm bad about that.
Yeah, and we all
Awful
are,
about that.
Because you can beat yourself up over whatever past mistakes or regret the fact that, man, if I'd only taken better care of myself, or if I'd only gone to the doctor whenever I'd had these bad symptoms, blah, 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 I wouldn't be here now. Regrets. Yes, but now you are here. Now this is where you are, and this is where you need to travel from. So marking those moments is a good thing, but it's also like, okay, you've got to learn the lessons and then you've got to take them with you in your bag as you travel down the road. And you don't take the other baggage with you. That stays on the trail. It's done. What you did is done. So the only thing that stays in your bag are the lessons learned from that journey, and everything else stays on the trail like junk. Because, you know, if you can envision yourself packing up the stuff that you've learned from the journey, that'll take you places that you'll never think you could go, which is pretty incredible, right? You know, like when you say, I had let's say you had a terrible experience with a job that you were in and it was awful and you hated it and it was like it was sucking the life out of you. Yeah, my current partner is raising his hand, sucking the life out of you. But you learned stuff from that experience. You learned what you liked about the job, what you didn't like about the job, what you didn't want to do again. So you take that, you know, the job is gone now. You take the experience and you throw it in your backpack and you take it to the new job, and the other stuff just stays there and it's no longer part of you. Because it's not. Yeah. It's not a part of your life anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You leave the negative behind, but you take the positive with you. Mm-hmm. Those lessons learned. Like I was raising my hand because my first job at my current company, I hated. Yeah. I hated it. It was awful. My bosses were really not fair and very mean to me, like objectively mean to me. I don't know why, but I hated it. But I took the lessons that I learned and learning about the company, and I've since moved positions and moved up in the company 3 or 4 times now.
Right.
And all the experiences that I've taken have led me up, and it's improved, and I've learned a lot. So that's really how you got to look at it, is leave those negative feelings and those things behind that are bad about the situation, but really think about what stuff you can take with you. What did you learn? What things can you look out for in the future? What missteps did you take that you can correct for in the future? And take that with you and remember it, because that's the only way that we can improve, really, is to just learn from our mistakes and, you know, leaning on each other a little bit too, but mostly learning from your own mistakes and others' mistakes and carrying those lessons learned with you.
Yeah. So I mean, looking at your situation, it may benefit you to start reaching out to other people who have some of the same ailments as you. A diabetes support group might be a really good thing for you. Other people who have dealt with diverticulitis, and, you know, things that can give you some reference and make you feel less alone in the world, you know, from what you've experienced. Because when other people share your experiences and relate to you, it has a world of difference. I read so many things from other women who were describing the same symptoms that I have with PCOS. And it was like, holy crap, I am not the only one who feels like this. I'm not the only one who deals with this. I'm not the only one who can't lose weight, who has, you know, gains weight around their midsection, which is exactly what I have. Feels tired all the time and feels hungry after you eat a meal. Like that stuff. I'm like, oh my God, that's me. That's everything I have. Oh my gosh. And then, you know, the solutions to help fix it was like, oh my gosh, I could do this. This could happen. This could change things for me. So I have to say, you have, there's opportunities for you to connect with other people. You know, you have to decide if that's right for you or not. But it is, you know, I mean, there are other people out there who are 29 years old dealing with diabetes or new diabetes. Like, you're not the only one out there. So absolutely. Yeah. It's just, these are the things that I would say might help a little bit. But of course, I will always recommend counseling. I will always, you know, recommend therapy to help you come to terms with all the changes in your life, and to analyze things a lot deeper than we can too. Yeah, definitely look into counseling if you could, you know, because that's usually our good go-to on that. And like you were saying, Jules, there's so many resources and groups out there for people who have things. It's you know, nobody's alone, especially in this day and age with our technology. We're only alone if we kind of choose to be, almost, in a way, because it's so easy to find people. Yeah. If you just know how to look and where to look, you know, I know, you know, you're definitely not alone.
because we're here with you, but we know you're not alone as well in what you're dealing with.
You know, and it's funny because I've looked in the past, in years past, to see if there were resources out there for my situation, and I didn't find much ever.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, this time for the last, it's probably been about 3 or 4 years since I've done any digging specifically about it, and I found some amazing resources out there that have obviously appeared since then. So it's just like, things are just sometimes you have to really put in the effort to go find it, and sometimes it's not there, and you have to continue to look and dig and ask. It's just hard, and it can be just really disheartening. So I totally understand. I totally get it. like I said, my situation it pales in comparison to the difficulty that you have, but I hope that I can at least provide you with a little bit of sameness support, because I kind of get it,
Yeah.
When you feel like you've done everything right for yourself and your body still isn't giving you the things that you need, so you have to come at it from a different way.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to say about this. I'm so sorry you've been through so much, but it's so good to hear from you again. And I hope that things get better for your situation. For you, it'd be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And definitely let us know how things are going. We'd love to hear from you again, and
absolutely,
and see the progress hear about the progress, or the failings at anything. Just keep trying.
Yes.
Keep working at it.
Failure is not an option.
Nope, failure is not an option.
Nope.
You recognize that a change needs to be made, and you want to do it. The only thing stopping you is you, and dude, I believe in you. Mm-hmm. I definitely believe that you can do this.
Sending us a letter and telling us about your situation was a huge step, because
absolutely,
it's speaking up and saying, I have a problem, and I know it's a problem, and I want to change that problem. So you've done so much already. You've already broken the seal of, not going forward. Now you get to go forward.
Yep. You've told us and everybody else listening that you want to make a change. So now you done it.
Yes.
You've already told us. No going back now, man.
No going back now.
Coming back. Now you're on the hook.
Yes, absolutely. And if you guys have feedback about our letter, any comments or questions of your own, you can send that to questions@taurenThinkTank.com. That is our email address. Mm-hmm. So we're going to switch gears, and we're going to talk a little bit about Tell Us One Thing. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
Mark Conan came up with the questions this week, and we start with question 1. What's a convention/festival you've always wanted to go to, and why?
Yes. I got this idea because of PAX South, because it's a place that, on the surface, but a few years ago I wouldn't have thought to go to, and I never really had an interest because I didn't know anything about Penny Arcade, so it didn't really appeal to me because I just didn't know anything about it. But now that I've gone to a couple of them, I'd like to go to more. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to pick you guys' brains to see what you would do. And for me, it would be, like San Diego Comic-Con, like the gigantic Comic-Cons.
Yeah. That
would be cool to go to. Or, any kind of really, really big, like EDM, electronic dance music festival. I don't know if Coachella counts as one, or any of the ones in Europe, like just these big, because I'm a big fan of EDM music, and just to go, it's a total change of scenery. Like, if you wouldn't think that I would go to I would look kind of out of place there, I would think, but it's one of the things, like, I want to push through, because yes, I will be 35 this year, but I would still like to go to these things because I really want to dig the music and just immerse myself in it. So that would be my answer. That one of those, and just kind of just really, really enjoy the music and just woo, just really just dig into it. So that's awesome. What I would do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What about you?
I would like to go to Gamescom and see that whole side of the incredible, like, that's a huge gaming convention. And
Yeah.
that would and you'd be going to Europe, and it would be like, completely, it's like the mini BlizzCon. So it would be very cool to go see that. That's the one I would like to go to.
It's a good call. Solid choice.
Solid choice. Well, we also we asked you guys this question, and I mean, like 99% of you told us BlizzCon. So we'll just count that as everybody's answer, because everybody said either BlizzCon or that they've been to BlizzCon. It was on their bucket list. So we will dig into a couple of the other answers that didn't include BlizzCon. Magic Myth Mayhem says BlizzCon, TwitchCon, or PAX for meetups with long distance friends and streamers like Triple T. Otakon because it's a big anime convention on the East Coast that isn't in my state, and hopefully within a few years I can road trip to that one.
Sounds good. Also from Kaifin says an authentic Ren Fair, complete with small town, and you have to dress in period costume just to immerse yourself a bit. I love history and lore, so I'd love to experience just a taste of how we humans lived then. That's a good call.
Yeah, the Ren Fair here in Minnesota is pretty cool. And it's like it's like a full town, kind of like the buildings are just like it's set as a Ren Fair grounds. So it's really cool.
Yeah. I'd like to do that one time too. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Toric says Nerdtacular. I'd been wanting to go for years and finally got to go last summer. It really felt like a family reunion, even though I went there knowing no one. It was so great to meet many people that I recognized from shows and chat rooms, including Jules and Marconin. If there's a next time, I'm definitely packing hiking boots, though. I was not prepared.
Yeah, and bring an oxygen tank too if it's at Snowbird again.
Right? I know. Oh lordy.
Woo.
Yes.
Ugh. From Lady Birdness says it's a toss up between Dragon Con and San Diego Comic-Con. I want to go to both ideally. Dragon Con's a huge thing.
Yeah, Dragon Con and San Diego Comic-Con is just they actually might be too big for me. Like just that's too overwhelming for me, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see someday. Tiber says, I always wanted to go to Gen Con because it originated in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and my gaming groups go back to board games and D&D. I guess the Origins Con now because they merged.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's see here. At Mr. Fibble 007 says Burning Man. Less for the modern take on it, but more for the original vision of not only surviving in a harsh environment, but celebrating and living in harmony with it, leaving no trace of your passage upon your departure.
Yes. Burning Man doesn't seem to be like that anymore, though.
No, it does not.
It does not.
It does not.
Yeah.
You know, on the off, if I was going to go, like if someone was like, hey, you want to go to Burning Man? I was like, oh, you're paying for it? Well, okay, well, let's see. But I don't think it's something I'd go out of my way to go to. Because it just, I don't know. If
paying for it, I would still not go. Are you kidding? No.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it might. I don't know. It'd be an experience. That'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. And then question 2 came from Marconin, and it was, when did you get stuck somewhere? Well, you already said you got stuck on the road.
I did. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that one was mine. Do you have any stuck stories?
I do. So I've told you guys that when I in 2004, I went to Africa, and I went with my first ex-husband, who I don't talk a whole lot about, but we went there, and he had a condition. It wasn't like the one that you guys normally think of when it comes to like breaking bones easily, but it was similar. It's like he had broken like 50 bones in his body over like his lifetime. He was very prone to breaking bones. And we were staying in these, it was like a national park that had these lodges throughout. So it was like we were deep in this national park wilderness. And he fell off of the Land Rover that we were on, and he broke his leg. And we were in the middle of nowhere. And so so the people who ran the lodge had to drive 2.5 hours out of like the main area to drive into the woods to get us, and then drive us out. And the only hospital that was there we were in Zambia, and we had to go to South Africa. Because it was the only hospital that was close enough. And so we actually, because he had this injury prone thing, we had bought travel insurance, and the insurance actually covered a medical plane to come and take us out of Zambia to go to Zimbabwe, or to South Africa, sorry. So, we fly in this medical plane, which was an incredible experience. I've never seen anything like it. It was literally like there was a stretcher inside of a plane with medical staff, and then there was a pilot. It was the coolest and the weirdest and scariest thing I've ever done. And so they fly us to South Africa, to this hospital that, by all standards, was probably 10 to 20 years behind any American standards in terms of medicine. And they wanted to do surgery on this broken leg, which, to everything, like, there was no bones protruding. There was nothing dictating to me that he needed surgery. And I was like, and he was in so much pain that there was nothing we could really do. So I had to basically fight to try to get us out of the country to get us home, because I was not going to allow him to get surgery while we were in South Africa. So
goodness.
So I had to try I was 25 years old, I want to say. Was I 25? No, I wasn't 25. I was almost 30. But I was like trying to figure out how to get him out of the country, how to get us flying home, and to get him home with an injured leg on and rearrange our flights and try to tell our families what was going on, because we were in another country.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like we were stuck for like 3 days while I waited for someone to call me to tell me we could get out of the country. And so that was my scary stuck story. Because my partner is pretty much incapacitated by pain and, drugs and whatever from a, broken leg, which when we got back into the States, it wasn't that bad. Like, it wasn't to the point where he would have ever needed surgery, but, but I didn't know this. I couldn't, we could see the x-rays, but they were so bad that it was hard to tell. So that's my story. That it was probably one of the most scary and life-changing things I had ever done. And, so yeah, you figure out what you're made of when you're through that. It's like, oh yeah.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, that definitely trumps my stuck on the side of the road about a half hour from my house story.
I know.
Oh, goodness.
It feels like a lifetime ago. Like it's
Well, yeah, it's like
it's only
14
been
years ago.
Yeah, 14 years ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too funny. So he asked you guys the same question. And sorry, I didn't mean to trump your story so badly.
Oh no.
That was not my intent, but that was
if I'd have known that, I would have doctored up my story at the beginning of the night. And then we got stuck in the road, and then there was a herd of bobcats that came by and clawed up and took away my coworker, and then there was an elephant, and then there was a couple drag races coming down the ice, and then
I'll tell you what, though, that African vacation was one of the most amazing things I'd ever done in my life. It was so cool. Yeah. So incredible. I don't think I've ever done anything that cool. So
yeah, I need to go to another continent someday. I've never left the country, but I need to do that.
You got to do it.
I need a passport.
Go get your passport.
Let's go get one now.
Yes. So we asked you guys, when did you get stuck somewhere? Crushinator said, I got stuck on a coach bus for 3 hours when it stalled out in the literal middle of the trip between my home and my university about 10 years ago. Maybe a 6-hour trip if nothing goes wrong. It was winter, so there really wasn't much point in getting out of the bus. My now wife was waiting for me at the end of the trip with lots of food. What a nice lady.
There you go. That's a keeper.
Yeah.
That's a keeper right there. Magic Myth Mayhem says, I was stuck coming off the Delaware Bridge for over an hour and a half because they were doing construction on it. Well, they were doing construction, so it was a lot of lanes merging into 3. There were so many cars, and it was so packed and dead stopped, you could actually get out of your car and be outside without danger. It was awful.
Oh, that is awful.
Ugh.
Nymeria 941 says, got stuck in a subway station in Toronto during an event, packed with wall-to-wall panicking people in the middle of summer until some Texans pulled out guitars, played some music, and calmed folks down.
Ah.
The power of music.
Soothes, yeah, power of music. Soothes the beast's soul.
Yes. Yes.
Ah, that's a good story.
Yes.
God bless Texas. I can say that because I was there for a few days. I feel like an honorary Texan.
You were.
Mm-hmm. Caiaphon says, I was stuck in a plane in Dallas. There was a storm, so they tried to wait it out. We sat on the tarmac for about 2 hours. Then we took off. Then we landed again almost immediately and waited in the plane because it had, quote, mechanical issues. Another 2.5 hours, and we took off again. The only thing that made the next 6 hours on the plane bearable is we caught up on the storm above it now, and I saw orange ball lightning. Coolest thing ever.
That's really cool.
That's a rare sight. That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Broken Bones says, I once got stuck in a glass-walled elevator in between the 14th and 15th floors for 3 hours. It was crowded. The maintenance guy shows up. There's no fire department. He passes through a crowbar through a gap in the doors to one of the taller people inside and says, you see that long doohickey next to the round thingamajig? Yes. I want you to whack it really hard about 3 times. I'm thinking doohickey and thingamajig, we are now dead. Well, 3 whacks and the doors open. Remember I said in between floors? Yeah, we had to climb out one at a time in the gap between the floor above us and the top of the elevator. Now thoughts of the elevator coming back to life while myself or one of us climbs through that gap go through my mind. We all got out and I needed a drink after that.
That's nightmare fuel for me, man.
Uh-huh.
Oh, getting stuck on an elevator halfway and then it gives way. That's why I don't dilly-dally between the inside and outside of the elevator shaft.
Yeah, no
I don't
kidding.
want to sit there and get bifurcated by the door.
Yeah.
I'd need a drink after that as well.
I know.
Gives me the willies.
I know.
Torek says, I was stuck at the top of the Magnum roller coaster at Cedar Point for over 2 hours in the rain. Soaking wet in a rickety old car 200 feet in the air, and we could see lightning flashes off in the distance.
That's nightmare fuel for me.
Nope. That's a whole big can of nope right there.
Yeah, because I don't like roller coasters anyway, so making me sit at the top of one while I'm out there, hell no. Hell no.
Nope.
Stonegrass says, Algonquin Park, really bad weather, stuck on a small island because the lake was way too choppy. Freezing cold, no shelter, worst 12 hours of my life.
Oh, man, I can believe that. Ugh.
I know.
Tiber says, twice during my military service, I was stuck in a camp in the desert for more than a month, waiting to return to the U.S. and not knowing when that would happen. And I was actually one of the lucky ones.
Jeez, that's scary.
Oh. Really is.
Lady Birdness says, stuck in an elevator, 4 people, one a talking type, another having anxiety attacks.
Oh, man. You drew the lottery right there.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that's awful. Yuck.
We're now best friends now. Let's catch up. How are you? 4
No,
hours.
No.
How about no? How about
no?
Queen of the North says, when I was deployed to Iraq, I took my mid-tour leave in Daegu, Diego, South Korea to visit a friend. The flight home via Dubai was canceled, and there was only one a week, so I spent another week in Korea. Glad the travel agency the Army used didn't think to fly me up and out from Seoul. So another week in Korea.
Yeah, there you go. You only get one plane a week.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like a movie, Another Week in Korea.
Yeah. Mr. Flibble 007, skiing through the trees as a child and running into the lead tree of a V-shaped 3-tree grouping. My skis fall to either side of the far trees, locking me in tightly until my parents trudged in and got me loose. It was uncomfortable, to say the least.
Ouch.
That's like stuck.
Yeah, that's like stuck in the
physically stuck in there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it is. And chat room, Natani Our friend Natani Pally says, I was stuck on a train with 2 small kids because the train in front had hit someone. It was 2 hours before we were allowed to leave the train and had to walk back to the last station.
Wow.
Yeesh.
Yikes. Well, that is Tell Us One Thing. Thank you guys all for your submissions. We couldn't use them all, but we thank you for those that we could use. And you guys can contribute to those on Discord, which is tinyurl.com/tttchat2. You can also comment to them on Twitter, which we usually put them at Tauren Think Tank. And if you want to stay anonymous and not post them publicly, you can email us, questions@taurenThinkTank.com.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some feedback from a previous letter, and we will do that right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Whoa, that's a lot of feedback.
That is a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
We got an update from Katie Derry, who wrote us a couple of weeks ago regarding regrets of not saving money when it was needed now, because there were a lot of bills and a lot of issues, and wanting to figure out how to do all that. So she wrote us and she said, new tires, oil change, a belt, and a battery. But I've been reducing my grocery bill over time and had built up a little bit. I set up an auto withdrawal from checking to savings where it can build up. Not enough to miss, but enough that it will be there when I need it. And I always get back about $2,000 in income tax refunds. So that will pay off my house and some leftover. The vet tests for my cat came back cancer, as expected, in her throat jaw area where surgery could kill her. So the surgery is not an option, but there is a medicine that sometimes helps a little that isn't very much, while I save for her passing. Comcast can suck it. I made it through December without going over their limit and no longer need to live in terror. It's a strict budget that I'm on with very little wiggle room and most of my charitable giving at an end. But like with podcasting, you keep doing it every week and you get in the habit. There's a pound of chocolate-covered raisins as a reward if I keep going. It's not fun watching my kitty, but I pet her and give her nice food and pet her as much as she likes. And there is much to be found in something that costs nothing.
It's a very good way to think, very good way to look at it.
Yeah. I know things have been, broke my heart to get this message, especially about your kitty. Gosh, there's been so many people that have been dealing with their pet having illness, and it's like, it tears my heart open every time I hear them, because, especially right now.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's just, just hard to see that happen. But, I'm glad that things are getting better for you. I'm glad that, you're doing what you can to save, and tight budgets are hard. I'm right there with you, because I'm on one right now and it sucks, but you do what you have to do. So thanks for the update, Katie. I appreciate that. We do. So
absolutely. Yes. Thank you for writing in again.
Absolutely. And thank you for being a part of the show. And we have one /moo unless the chat room wants to get on the action. So here we go. Crushinator says /moo to Cooked Brains, who came into my stream and ran me through maps in Path of Exile. It's nice to encounter nice people.
And we actually have one that came during the show a minute ago.
Oh, yeah?
In Discord from Kaiafin, who says /moo to Tour Arts and the events planning crew for all the fantastic CTR anniversary planning events and activities.
Yay! Happy birthday, CTR.
Yeah. And on that front, a /moo to our good friend Nevermore, whose birthday is today.
Yes.
So happy birthday to her.
She's been sick, so she hasn't been around too much, but happy birthday, Nevermore. We love you. We do. And also happy birthday to former guest of the show, Jerry Lawson.
That's right.
Yes, she is also celebrating a birthday today. So happy birthday, Jerry. We also love you.
Yes, we do.
We do. And that, Mark Honan, is a show.
I do believe you are correct.
I do declare it is a show.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So, anything cooking in the hopper for you in the next 7 days?
Oh goodness, I don't expect so.
Okay.
I just finished up that PAX South thing, so I'm pretty good for a little while.
Okay.
There's a small chance I might go to PAX East and do the thing again, but we'll see.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It would. We've submitted the panel for that to PAX East. It would be the first time I've ever been to Boston. So it'd be cool. It'd be cool to go. really enjoy doing that. So fingers crossed. We'll see.
That'd be really cool. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
What about you?
This week I'll be cooking up a whole lot of chainmail stuff. I will try to squeeze in a stream if I can. But HTC also starts this weekend, so we'll see. We'll see if I can squeeze in a stream. I need to watch more of the games now because I'm commentating on a lot of that stuff now, which is kind of nice. But you can catch the latest episodes of Nerf This, which came out today, and BattleNet Sports, which is the new Convert to Raid show about esports. And that just came out on Monday. So you can hear me on both of those and hear some of my lovely friends that are on those shows as well.
Yay.
And I think, and of course, I'll be prepping for Florida trip to Podfest. It's coming up on February. I think we're speaking on February 9th. It's a Friday.
Yeah, I think that's the 9th.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the 9th.
Friday late afternoon is when we're speaking, which is cool. So we get to talk about what the stuff we do. Yeah. So that's about it on my front. And with that, I think we'll just bring the show to a close like we always do. Just like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incomputech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website, tarnthinktank.com, which has all the podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too. And if you would like some sweet Triple T merchandise, you can definitely go to tarnthinktank.com/store and get yourself some awesome-looking t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, phone cases, notebooks, and laptop cases. Not a whole lot more. Go check it out.
I just totally spaced out there. Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us on Twitter for the show at TaurenThinkTank. You can find Jules at JulesRPG, and you can find Marconin, who is that guy? Oh, it's me. You can find me at Marconin Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight. Hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. We stream live on Twitch for our show. You can come be a part of the chat room at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank or download our show via Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all those wonderful places. We love seeing you with us, hearing that you listen to the show however you do. Marconin.
Jules?
Thank you for a great show. Go get some rest.
Oh, I'm definitely going to do that.
Me
and
too.
Thank you for an awesome show as well.
I appreciate it. We'll be back next week as we always are. We look forward to it. You guys have a wonderful week. For myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 Really? Yeah.
Really?
Really? Like totally.
It's
really creepy, dude.
You sound like an old tomcat.
I
know. We had a cat growing up named Fred. He's just this huge, just grumpy old gray and white male Tom that just like adopted us. And we're like, "Hey, Fred." He would just growl at us. Just.
It's like old man Fred.
This big old man. He was polydactyl. He had 6 claws on both his front paws.
Oh, wow. So that, yeah.
Yeah.
They're cool cats. They have the extra toes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's a cool guy.
It's officially the end of the week tiredness right now. I have it. I have the end of the week sleepies.
Today's my hump day. I've still got 2 more days of work.
Show title: You've broken the seal.
You've broken the seal. I was thinking that, or what was the other one? Man, I should have written it down. Where's Draven?
I know.
No, he was on vacation.
Philly Fusion leading LA 2-1. Ooh. Gotta watch some Overwatch League.
Yeah. Jules, do you know how to earn those? You know how they in Overwatch they give you 100 points to get 1 skin for whatever team you want?
Yep.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
Do you know how to earn more of those?
Yes, there's another way you can do that. Go to overwatchleague.com and sign up for their mailing list, and they'll give you another 100. And then if you want to buy the Overwatch League tokens, you just have to go. So you have to actually go into Overwatch League, pick your team, and then you can see the skins.
Yeah. I was looking through them earlier, and I know I had enough to get 1, but I didn't know if there's a way to get more later on because I haven't picked a team.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So there's like you get the free 100 just by logging in, and then you can get another 100 after signing up for their mailing list, and it's on their site. Now I have 2 skins.
Which ones did you go with?
Dallas Fuel. So I wound up getting Dallas Fuel for Moira and Mercy. Because those are my two favorites. So I absolutely freaking love Moira. I would play her all the time, but everybody wants a Mercy on their team, and so then you got to play Mercy. So
yeah,
and I can play a pretty good Mercy, but I love Moira more. So it was like
she's a lot of fun.
Oh my god, that character is so much fun. But everyone's like, can we have a Mercy instead? And it's like, oh, someone else play Mercy, but it's okay. So when I go to quick play, I just grab Moira and play her.
Yeah, I was playing some Mystery Heroes earlier, and it gave me Roadhog, and I'm starting to enjoy Roadhog a little bit more.
Yep,
I'm getting a little bit better with my hooks, and just getting
He's
in there,
fun.
getting in people's faces.
I love Junkrat. If I play DPS, I love Junkrat.
Oh yeah.
And Diva, I'll play Diva if I have to play tank or Zarya. But yeah, it's just I love Moira. She's just a badass character.
She is. I was looking in my collector groups on Facebook, and it looks like there's going to be a combo pack of those Funko Pop figures of Junkrat and Roadhog that are supposed to hit the gear store.
Oh, cool.
And I think it's the Jailbird Junkrat skin.
Oh, cool.
And then like something similar for Roadhog. I don't know. I did pre-order some of the Series 3 because Junkrat's on that list. So
that's awesome.
Gonna have to get it.
I had fun. I had a lot of fun with it. So, yeah, I gotta play more of my placement matches, but I sucked up so bad this week. I played 3 of them and I lost all 3, and it was like, yeah. So
I need to get back. I need to try the competitive. I haven't done that since the 2nd season, I think.
Yeah, it's fun.
Something like that.
I like the game. I just like the game. It's so fun.
Yeah,
so
it really is.
But I've been so busy with other stuff that I haven't been able to play. It's like I haven't been able to play much games at all. But
yeah, lately, the last few days when I got home, I just want to sit on the couch, and I got a Nintendo 2DS for Christmas, and I've been playing the new Pokemon game on it.
Nice.
So I haven't played a main series game in like a decade, so it's been good to catch up on it and do all that.
Nice. I love it.
Enjoying that a whole lot.
That's awesome.
And I see you're enjoying your fidget toy.
Oh yeah, I sat here for like half the show playing with my fidget toy.
Y'all can't see it, but I
mine. Yeah, Marcona could see me playing with it, but this is my own. I made one for myself, mainly because I goofed up the pattern slightly on the rainbow, which no one else would be able to tell but me. But I won't sell it, so and I didn't want to take it apart, so I kept it for myself. And so it's just this. I have so many commissions for this thing, and it's amazing, and I love it, and I love making them because they're just so cool. But I'll do this when I'm on the phone too, like, so sit there with a podcast, I'll sit there and do this. It's just sit here and just twirl it. It's awesome. So yeah, it's been good.
Well, good.
All right. Well, let's get out of here so we can get some rest and, try to face the day tomorrow, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm going to go. I may play one more match of Overwatch. I played a little bit before the show. I may do one last match.
One more
before
game.
bed.
One more game. Just one more.
Just one more match. I got I gotta play one more time.
Thanks, chat room. You guys are amazing as always. Thanks for being a part of the show. And we will be back next week. We don't have a show title. If you want, do you want us to use the? You've broken. I've been just making one up from the show. Draven's usually good at getting them, but he's been busy. So
yeah. What do you think about you broken the seal?
I can. Yeah, I mean, we could just use that.
We could use Tybers. He's the only one that submitted one so far.
Okay. Well, there we go.
We can do that one.
There you go, Tiber. You got a show title.
Yep.
And we are actually without questions again for next week's show. So if you are pending a question and want to send them us in chat room, please do. I've got a couple of like older ideas from the hopper that aren't questions per se, just general topics. So I can pick one from that if need to. But all right, you guys.
We would love to hear from you.
We would. We love specific questions because it helps us dig into it much better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. See you later. /boo.
/boo, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.